All right, guys, let's get into it. Another episode of the Glory Boys podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome. If you are just joining us for the first time, we're so glad that you're here. We hope that you get value out of this podcast.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything about us, again, if you're just jumping on, Darren and I are your hosts. We have a video production company based out of Omaha, Nebraska, that we do full time and we build. And you are listening to our podcast, the Glory Boys podcast, here to just inspire you, give you kind of a behind the scenes look at how we've built our business, the decisions that we've made, the mistakes we've made.
Yep.
And hopefully this will inspire you and challenge you and help you to maybe avoid some mistakes.
Yep. And today we're talking about how to hire your first employee. Let's roll the intro. Here we are.
Did you ever think that you would have an employee?
No.
I didn't either.
I mean, I always thought I would just be an employee for my whole life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's really interesting when you start a business and you're able to, I guess, not work for somebody, but work for yourself.
Yeah.
It's awesome, but it's a whole nother world that I just never entertained as a kid.
Yeah, I remember even when we started our business, I remember telling you, like, I don't want to manage. Like, that's not why I got into this, is not to be a boss or manage or be a supervisor or anything like that. I never had any interest in doing that. And now we are, but I don't feel like we are necessarily like managers or bosses. So it's been kind of fun. But before we get into today's episode, it's been, a few weeks since we've sat down and recorded some podcasts.
Yep.
So how you been doing? What's going on? What's new?
I mean, I'm great. I kind of have a cold, so I sound like a butt cheek, but
nice.
We're getting through it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not COVID. It's just a normal cold. Those things still exist. So a little snuffly, but yeah, and it rained for a few days, which I just don't love, and my allergies are crazy all the time. Yeah. And as I get older, allergies just seem to get worse, which is kind of annoying. So I took some allergy meds and took, some C4 super brain medicine, and I'm good to go. I'm ready.
Right. What's better than Excedrin?
C4.
That's right. I mean, the main ingredient in Excedrin is caffeine, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, I mean, it is
literally just a caffeine pill with ibuprofen in it or something.
Truth.
I'm not really sure, but
how are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a crazy week. And I actually love rainy weather personally. I'm like Netflix, home, cuddling on the couch with the windows open when it's raining is like one of my favorite things to do. So much so that like my dream is to build a roof over half of my deck and put a couch and a TV outside. So when it's like 65 and raining outside, I can lay out there with my wife and like cuddle under some blankets and watch TV. It just sounds amazing.
No, that's great. I definitely would be into that. It's just when it gets to be like 3, 4, 5 days in a row of like gloominess, I just don't do well. I need some vitamin D. I need to like go outside in a t-shirt.
It's a good thing you don't live in Portland.
It's true. It'd be really sad.
Yeah. It's been a fun week. We'll talk about our adventures maybe in the next episode. Don't want to talk about it too much. A
lot of adventures.
I don't want to spoil any secrets or anything, but we've been having some fun this week. And next week's episode, we're going to be talking about how to balance work life, family life, how to make sure you keep joy in your life in the midst of the hustle. So make sure you stay tuned for that next week.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been good. Hazel's she's awesome. 3-year-old. She's 3 months. 3 months old.
Dang,
now.
that was fast.
I know. I don't know why I keep saying 3 years old, but she's 3 months old now.
Yeah.
She's like holding her head up, and I can like fly around the house with her, which is awesome. So she's no longer like, you have to be super careful with her head and neck and make sure you support her head. She can hold her head up now by herself, which is awesome.
Yeah, so, she's cute.
Yeah, she's
all those pictures that Callie keeps sending you, and
every morning she FaceTimes me because as soon as Hazel wakes up, she will like wake up, be super sleepy and then see either mom or me and just start smiling.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the best thing ever.
So cute.
So Callie FaceTimes me every time she's about to wake her up just so I can get to see it. So
I love it.
it's awesome. But yeah, diving into this week's episode, how we hired our first full-time employee. As of recording this right now, we have one full-time, one part-time employee. And we hired a full-time employee in November. So it's been about 6 months, or well, I guess not, about 4 or 5 months now. And it's honestly been so great.
Yeah.
In so many ways. But it wasn't until we were almost 3 years in business when we even really considered hiring a full-time employee.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess why did it take us so long to make our first hire?
Yeah, I think for us, we always knew that hiring somebody was the day was coming, that it was going to happen. And as a company, you and I can only do so much together, and we can only even grow this company to a certain size. There's going to be a lid that we hit with just you and me. I think we started seeing that lid or feeling that lid, and we just weren't okay with it. We're like, we need to expand our minds and think about opportunities to grow this company in a different way. Well, what can grow our capacity? You know, you and me not sitting in front of our desk editing all the time. Well, we need to hire somebody to also edit. So it frees us up to think of more ideas, work on other projects, have vision, and grow our company. I think it was really fun entertaining the idea of the people in our world that we've kind of poured into. We're part of the local church. We love the local church. We both serve as directors at our church. And I think building the teams that we have over the last few years, it didn't happen on purpose, but naturally just kind of, wow, we've really poured into this person and they don't love their job. Let's maybe think about hiring them someday. Or what would it take for this person to be on our team at church, but now hiring them full time? And we're really particular on how we run our company and the quality of a video that we put out. And so it's not just anyone and everyone that can fill that spot, but I think over time we really started to build the culture and the quality and the attention to detail into these people. And then after tons of prayer, we were like, hey, this is a candidate. Let's pray about it. Let's talk to people about it. And it ended up working out really, really well. And again, that wasn't the plan. We just had poured a ton of time into people and just loved on them for a few years. And then we're like, wow, this is a really good opportunity to offer a job to someone. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said, it wasn't necessarily in our plan. Yeah. We weren't going around training people at church necessarily with the intention of, we're building you into our full-time employee.
Right.
However, I do think we kind of started somewhat with the end in mind. And just like we've talked about in previous episodes, like it's a long game. Finding the right employee is not, there were several things that we were very hesitant, several reasons we were very hesitant to hire an employee. Number one, like you said, the skill has to be there. What we do is a skill based, it's a creative industry. It's not something that you can, hand somebody a one pager and say, here's your job description. Now go do it. It's something that, and not only just the skill, but also our style as a company. So we had to make sure that this candidate that we were confident in, that they could match the level of quality, but also our style as a company. Secondly is just culture. Like you said, I mean, we needed the person that was our tribe, our people that we knew would be here for the long haul, because we're not looking to just pay someone to punch in and punch out. We want somebody that sees the vision, that loves the vision, and that wants to come alongside us in the journey of building this company.
We never intended on starting this company for Darren and Austin and hire a bunch of employees. It's really the idea of, we want this big company to be a big vision for other people that come along in the journey with us and take ownership in a part of it. Rather than just being employees to it.
For sure. Yeah. And then, just waiting for the right time, obviously for us too, was another reason. We, with everything last year, the way that things panned out, I mean, it ended up being our best year as a company, which is awesome. But there was a lot of uncertainty in the middle of the year, and it really didn't make sense. And I think what I'm trying to get at through all of this is we knew when it was the right time. It was pretty obvious. Because we'd been patient. We'd known for over a year, we'd been talking about this. We were just patient. We knew it was coming. We're just waiting to identify the right person. And so it takes patience, I think, to find the right employee.
Yeah.
It's easy to find an employee. You know, there's a lot of people out there, especially in today's job workplace. It's very high demand for jobs, and not very many people hiring. So it's easy to find employees, but it's really hard to find the right one. So we really mapped out, what are we currently spending time on? What is our time worth? What are some things that, when freed up, would add value to the business? Because when you're looking for an employee, you know you're going to have to pay them money, obviously.
Right.
So the value that they provide the business has to be greater than their paycheck for it to make sense. And I would even say it needs to be significantly greater because of the time and investment that you still are going to have to put into that employee, ongoing training. So, I mean, it does take more of your attention, especially in the initial phases of training and growing that employee. But yeah, they really have to provide value in a greater proportion than their salary for it to really make financial sense for the business. So I think we were at that point. I don't know if you want to talk about kind of where we were at when we were discussing this. I remember sitting at Starbucks, like chatting about, hey, this makes sense. We were drawing out kind of our company. We were looking at the last year, where our time was going, really where we were capped for us personally, the two of us doing work.
Yeah, I think I've said this in an earlier episode, but like, just to be honest, we sat down and talked about how much money are we able to make if it was just me and Austin. And we really hit the cap at, we did 26 weddings a year, and we did 10 to 15 commercial projects, and all the stuff that we were able to do, just me and him, we would be capped at about $370,000. Was that net or gross?
That was gross. That was gross.
Gross. So, and I just wasn't cool with that. And me and Austin really had to sit down and talk, like, hey, how do we expand that? So we modeled it out, added someone in there, and really just like, we're able to see, like, man, for this much, paying somebody this much to bring them in, it really expanded the opportunities to make more money. And it's not just to make money, but we are here to grow this company. We are here to be able to like build a company that's so great that we're able to pay our employees a significant amount of money for the work that they do. And we just have tons of vision. We want to be able to fund films and projects that, maybe we won't get funding for, but we can provide that for down the road, and just a lot of stuff. And so,
and with people too,
and bless people and our church, and like, keep giving. We give to our church, obviously, but just being able to bless our church in a financial way like that they might need.
It's our creative passion. So, I mean, we're not in it for the money necessarily, but like you said, like we want everything God has for us. And we believe that God has millions and millions out in front of us that not just so we can have millions of dollars, but like, so that we can give back, so that we can bless people, so that we can buy our church a whole set of cameras if we want to, because we're able to. Things like that are really why we are building this, so that we can bless our families. We can have, provide a life for our children that we weren't provided as children.
And I would say, and like, there's a whole poverty mindset kind of place that I came from, just even growing up. Just paycheck to paycheck was pretty normal. And, I love my mom, and she did such an amazing job, but I don't want my kids to grow up feeling like I can't provide for them. And again, my mom did an amazing job. It has nothing to do with that. It's just, I think God has abundantly more than we can ask or ever imagine. And I just will continue to hold fast to that and push forward. I really do believe that God has so much more for our company. And so we're just going to keep pushing forward and keep experiencing God move according to his will. And I think it's going to blow our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, just to kind of recap that, we're not here just to make money, but we're building a business. We're building an empire here. So to do that, you can't do that with two people. With what we do, we have to physically put in time to get a dollar result. And so to be able to grow our company and also have balance, like we're talking about in the next episode, to be able to have that and not be burnt out working 80 hours a week, you have to scale. And so hiring is really the only way to do that we know of, at least in our industry. And so, we reached a point where it made so much sense on paper that when we added another 40 hours a week of work time to our capacity, the increase in our total amount that we could earn as a company was just, it was nuts.
Yeah.
And it just made so much sense. I remember sitting down. I had never really thought seriously that this was a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, we'd been talking about it and dreaming about it, but when we sat down and really mapped it out, I was like, holy cow, like this makes sense.
Yep.
And I felt in that moment just peace about it.
Yeah.
100%. And I think that's a big thing. Like you'll feel, I think, if it's the wrong person or the right person, to some degree, if you get to know them. So
yeah,
my recommendation would be get to know them first, maybe have them intern for a while. I mean, that's kind of what Bray and Will both have done in a way.
Yeah.
You know, Bray was in here multiple days a week last year during COVID, grinding out church videos, volunteer, 100% volunteer. Yep. It almost was like a unpaid internship in a way.
Sure.
But she got her reps in. She showed us that not only was she capable skill wise, but that she's consistent, so reliable, just gets the job done, knows how to put her head down and work. Yeah. And it made so much sense.
Yeah. And not only after hiring her, it really freed us to, I mean, we've wanted to start this podcast for a long time, but we weren't able to do it. We had dreams of doing more content, putting more value into our YouTube channels. It didn't make sense. Yep. We just couldn't do it. And so since hiring her, it's been really awesome seeing like, man, we can even do some of the stuff that we're really passionate about. We don't make any money right now from this podcast. We don't make any money from the YouTube. Right. I mean, not a lot of money from YouTube. Yeah. We did make some, which is a huge win.
Yeah. It was one of our goals for this year.
Yeah. So it's just been cool to see our capacity open up, us be able to do things, because it's super important that we get to do some of the things that we're passionate about. Yeah. And because we have the room to do it, here we are doing it. So
yeah. And the last thing I would say is it was a leap of faith. And I think it always is. And unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out. You know, we were just talking to a guy a couple weeks ago that was just sharing with us a little bit, has a video company in South Dakota. And he was just sharing with us how he's had several employees that just didn't pan out in the recent months. And we kind of shared with him a little bit of this, how we did this. And I think that helped him with his next hire, maybe to kind of follow this process a little bit. Yeah. And it is a little bit different because we're in the church world. We're building a team at church, and out of that team will come more employees, I believe. Sure. Because of all of the time that we've sowed into the team, building people. And, you know, that's always been, we've talked about it in past episodes, but build people, get in it for the long haul. You know, we're in this because we love people, we love building people, and that will come back. It's harder, and it may look like you aren't getting the results that you want at first, because it is a long game. But if you're patient, I mean, you'll just have way better results than you will doing the quick and easy thing, which is going and posting for a job listing, hiring the first person you find, just so that you can kind of feel a little bit of pressure relieved, but then you put hours and hours into them and then they quit and go off and do their own thing. So, so if you're like on the fence, if you have somebody that you're really thinking about hiring and you're on the fence about it, maybe you're scared to take the leap financially. I know that's where I was. You know, I was counting the cost first and foremost, and I had to shift that perspective to see the value. And also we had to be at a point of security in our company where we had money saved, where we weren't in a position where we didn't know if we'd be able to pay her or not. You know, we were in a strong position as a company, but you don't have to be quite as in a strong position as I initially thought to be able to hire, because the value that it provides is awesome. So if you're on the fence, would definitely encourage you, if you think it's the right person, you feel good about it, you feel at peace about it. It's the best decision I think we've ever made. Both hiring Bray full-time and Will part-time has just brought so much more content, just better. It's built our brand to something that it couldn't have been with just the two of us. So
yeah, that's just kind of our perspective. Obviously we're new to this. We have 1.5 employees. We continue to build this thing and hopefully have hundreds someday.
Yeah.
We don't know what that looks like, but we're going to be faithful with what God's put in our hands and just continue to push forward and, just be expectant for what God has for this company. If you're hesitant again, or you have any questions or thoughts, please reach out to us. We would love to share our thought process, even in a little bit more detail, maybe numbers wise, or whatever it is that can help add value to you, because we want to help you cross that barrier and hire somebody and experience the level of capacity that you can grow and the lid be lifted a little bit higher over your company, over your life. And we're really believing that the best is yet to come for this company, and we're really, really excited about it. And we hope that you're encouraged, and we are just so glad that you've listened.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is just the start of the conversation. Like you said, ask us questions. If you're watching this on YouTube, it would mean a lot if you subscribed, hit the bell for more videos, leave a comment, ask us some questions. Let us know what you want to hear next, what part of the process of building a business you're struggling with. Maybe we can offer some insight. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating. Those 5-star ratings really help us
we love
grow this channel and make us feel good about ourselves. No, just kidding. But no, we do appreciate all of the support. Every single person listening. We just want you to know that that we love you so much. And we're so thankful that you're listening to this podcast right now. So we will catch you guys in the next one, and hope you have a great week.
See ya.